Hey, what's going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. How is everybody today? Let us know in the chat below. We're going to get going here in 1 second. If you have yet done so, please give us a huge thumbs up on the live stream. The reason why I always ask for the thumbs up is that the more thumbs up we can get, the more people are going to hear about this who are subscribed, and they'll jump in. That they'll help grow the live stream world. Erica, how are you, young lady? How is Lake Placid? What is new? Hey, Janet, good to hear from you. Okay, guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of follow up with what we were talking about last week and try to move my webcam around here a little bit. Follow up what we talked about last week and kind of keep the same structure for today's live. I have something I want to talk about, which we're getting a lot of questions about right now, and I don't really know why, but we're gonna talk about that. I'm going to teach on it, and then I have three questions that have come in from the community that have been emailed to me. And again, feel free to email me anytime during the week with your questions for the live, and I will answer them live here so everybody can learn as a group. And then after we do the three questions, then we're going to roll back into community questions. So if you like, feel free to go ahead and type your question in the chat. And I'll get to those after I finish up the first two things. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and get rocking and rolling and make it happen. So what I want to talk about, and I'm getting a lot of questions this week about this, and I don't really know why, but we have to talk about it because that's why we're here on the live stream. And that is going to be mobile home. And I'm from Indiana, so I'm going to speak a little Indiana here. Mobile home roofs. I guess people in Florida call them roofs. I don't know what a roof is, but a roof is what we call it in Indiana. Mobile home roofs. What are the common issues that we see, and what are some common ways that you can avoid those issues and kind of lengthen the lifespan? Okay, of a manufactured home roof. Okay, so that's what I want to talk about here for the first few minutes, and then jump into the questions. So when we're talking about the roof and kind of what we were talking about last week, by far, the worst thing that can possibly go on with your manufactured home is water intrusion. Okay. If you have water get into the house, that is going to be bar none the worst thing that can possibly happen. Okay. Once you have water get into your house, it can very easily lead to all types of problems. Okay. Mold is the big one. It can also start getting into your floors, and it can start to create what we call soft spots in your flooring, which is when the subfloor starts to give way, and you need to get that replaced immediately, because if you don't get the soft spot repaired, you could be like me and fall through the floor. I've done that now 3 times in my career in the manufactured home space. It's not fun. It's very scary and very painful at the same time. So water is going to be the big problem. Okay. Now, the main way that water is going to get into a manufactured home and really wreak havoc is going to be through your manufactured home roof. Okay. Now, generally speaking, the roofs on manufactured homes are solid. Okay. A lot of people who are new to the style of living, or they're new to this whole world, they think that manufactured homes are kind of chintzy, or they're going to fall apart. Or I read it in the comments all the time where people say, oh, well, if there's a hurricane, then the house is going to fly away. No, it's not. Or, oh, if it's a tornado, it's going to fly away. No, it probably won't. So the key is preventative maintenance. Okay. Now, roof maintenance is not really that expensive. It really isn't. But putting a new one on, if it's shot, that can be expensive. And all the repairs that go on to the inside of your home, if the roof is bad and water gets in, can be very, very expensive. Okay. So you really want to take serious or pay serious attention to your manufactured home roof. Okay. Generally speaking, they say they can last 30 years from the manufacturer. Brand new homes right now. I was just at a trade show that I spoke at in October in Dallas. Okay, it was a Legacy Mobile Home, or Legacy Homes is now what they go by. Legacy Homes there in Dallas, and a lot of their new double wides, they have 40-year roofs on it, and it's supposed to be under warranty. So your newer ones are going to last a little bit longer than your older ones, but generally speaking, 30 years is how long a manufactured home roof is going to last. Okay, now there are some caveats to that, so let me please explain that. That is also the same thing as saying that you buy a set of tires at like your tire store or at Costco or wherever you buy your tires, and it says 60,000 mile tires. Okay. Can your car get 60,000 miles out of those tires? Probably, but man, you're going to have to rotate them all the time. You're not going to, you never want to do a burnout on it. You don't ever want to curb it. You don't want to put too much tire shine because it may deteriorate on the side of the walls of it. So can it last 60,000 miles? Yeah, I guess if you're driving in a straight line. But most people are probably going to get like 50, 55, and they're going to switch them out. It's the same kind of idea with your roof in a manufactured home. Okay, so it says that it's going to be 30 years. Will it last 30 years? Yeah, it could. Do I know of homes that have lasted much longer than that with the roofs? I sure do. Do I know roofs that at like 20 years, they probably should have been replaced? Yeah, absolutely. So can it last that long? Sure. But it's really up to the owner as far as getting that full length of time out of the roof. Okay. Now, easy ways to do some maintenance that really doesn't cost much at all, that'll really elongate the time your roof's going to be good. The first one, okay, is going to be, again, depending on where you live. If you live up north, I know we have a lot of people in the channel who are the Midwest. There was a gentleman, one of the guys one of the viewers who sent me a question is from South Dakota. So Mitch, if you're on this, then this question is kind of what you were asking me earlier today. You really want to make sure that you get as much weight off the roof as often as possible. Okay, so what do I mean by weight? Weight would be if you live up north and you live in a very snowy area. Okay, snow can be heavy, ice can be heavy. I'm not advocating for going out there in like -5-degree weather and like knocking all the ice off. And that's silly. But when it's warm enough to do that, you want to try to get the weight off of the roof. So knock off some of the ice. Try to knock off some of the snow if you can. If you live in like a southern climate like us here in Florida, the big thing to get off your roof would be tree branches. Okay. Like after a storm, again, wait until it's safe. Okay. Don't do anything crazy and get yourself hurt. And if you can't get to the roof, then, that's okay, but you can hire somebody. There's no shortage of handymen and handy women who will help you out with this. Get a ladder to the side of the roof and start pulling off heavy stuff. Okay. Again, be careful. Be safe and be smart about it, but get the tree branches off. Okay. Clean out your gutters because the gutters will clog up. It'll cause all types of gunk and mess. And then all of a sudden there's going to be extra water on your roof that doesn't need to be because the gutters aren't flushing out. Every once in a while, you'll see it on our channel. People don't clean out their gutters. And I've seen it numerous times that they'll have like stuff, like literally like plants growing in their gutters. That's never a good look. So you want to make sure that you're taking care of that and get the weight off of it. Okay, that's the big thing. That's a free thing to do. If you're physically able to do it, that's a freebie. If you want to take your roof care to the next level on the outside, then you want to coat your roof. Okay, now what does that mean? You can go and get roof manufactured home. They're going to call it different things. So some places call it glue. Some people call it roof sealant. There's a bunch of different names people use. But if you go to a manufactured home parts store, like the Mobile Home Depot is a good one, they're going to have this product. It kind of looks like Elmer's glue, and it comes in like a 5-gallon bucket. You can go there and you can actually get like a kind of like a mop. It's kind of like what it looks like, like what a painter would paint like the outside of a house, like one of those deals. And you can get one of those at the Mobile Home Depot, or you can get that at like, Lowe's or Home Depot or something. And you want to seal your roof or glue it or coat it, whatever term you want to use. And you want to do that. Now, how often you do that is going to be up to you. It's also going to be up to the climate that your home's in. If you're in Florida, if you're in like Texas, Arizona, to an extent, Georgia, a lot of like states that are warm, Nevada, they get a lot of sun. I would suggest doing that at least every 2 years. Okay, every 2 years you want to seal your roof. If you live in the Midwest or you live out in like the Pacific Northwest, where you have all the seasons, then I would say you could probably get away with it every 3 years. That would probably be okay. I know a lot of people in like the Naples, Florida area who do it every year. I know a lot of people. I have a buddy of mine that runs a similar type of business in Houston, Texas, and he says out there people do it every year. So you know that's something you want to do. So number one, definitely get the weight off the roof. Number two, after storms and ice and stuff like that. Number two, seal your roof. Okay. The next thing is going to be number three, and that is going to be to clean out the gutters, because if you have too much weight of gunk and just gunk is what I'll call it in the gutters, it's going to start putting a lot of weight on the gutters and the soffits. That can put extra pressure on the roof, and that can cause problems. Okay, so those are going to be three ways to take care of the outside of the roof. Okay, so now how do we take care of the inside of the roof? Well, here's a couple of easy ways. When you walk through the home, and if you've heard me talk about in our educational videos or other videos about dry roofs, every once in a while I'll use a term called coffee stains. Okay, so if you're new to this business or if you're new to this style of housing, when you look up in a manufactured home, okay, then you always want to look. Let's see if I'm in my office here in Bradenton. I don't see any on the ceiling tiles, so we're in good shape. No, I was just trying to see if there's any ones that I can show you here. Well, there's not, but I always use the term coffee stain. Okay, so coffee stain is just like a slang term that I came up with a couple of years ago. And if you're wearing like a white t-shirt or like a white like hoodie or something, or like your lady, you wear like a white blouse, and you're sipping coffee and you spill some coffee on your shirt, okay, and it dries, like that kind of like brownish kind of crazy pattern deal cloud thing that gets on your shirt, okay, and when the coffee dries, that's the exact same look that the ceiling will have if you have a leak. Okay, so if you're looking at buying a manufactured home, or let's say you only live in your manufactured home, maybe like in the winter, it's like a second home or something. When you look up and you see the coffee stain, okay, I'm not trying to be gross, so please don't think I'm trying to be inappropriate here, but there is a point. All right, if you see that coffee stain, the easiest way to take care of it is to find out if number one, it's active, or number two, it's an old leak. Okay. This is more of a tip if you're buying a house. Get a step ladder, or if you're tall enough, touch it with your hand, whatever, but you want to touch directly. Now don't be rough with it. Don't, Mike Tyson uppercut it, but you kind of want to touch it and give a good touch on that, on the coffee stain. Okay. Then I know this sounds gross, but you literally want to smell your finger. Okay. I'm not trying to be silly. I'm not trying to be goofy or whatever, but if you smell your finger and it doesn't smell of anything, maybe like your hand lotion or like the French fries that you had for lunch or something, then you're fine. Okay. But you're going to notice a real difference if you touch it and you smell your finger, and your finger all of a sudden smells like gym socks. Okay. Again, I'm not trying to be gross here. I'm trying to prove a point. If it smells like gym socks, that means it's going to be an active leak. Okay. And you very well could have a mold problem. Okay. So, if you have that, that's not necessarily going to be like a red flag, but that's going to be like something you really want to take serious precautions to. If you touch it and it's dry as a bone, okay, like it's just dry, and you smell it and it smells like your hand lotion, fine. It was probably a leak some other, in the past. It's probably not active, no big deal. Now, if you do that and you touch it and it's damp, or you touch it and it smells like gym socks or something just gross, okay, that's going to tell you probably got mold. That's also going to tell you that it's probably an active leak. Okay. So if you have an active leak, then what do you do? All right. Well, it's a problem, but it's, you got this. Okay. You got this. It's not that big of a deal. You can go and you can get a putty that is from like a mobile Home Depot, and you can do what's called like a roof patch or a roof putty job. Okay. You can do that. If you're buying a home, and let's just say, for example, it's a 1980 home and it's 2025. It's a 45-year-old house. And let's say you get the impression that the roof is original, remember what I said at the beginning of this stream, lifespan on these things is about 30 years. Okay. So you're going to be on beyond borrowed time with that roof. Okay. Could you do a patch job if you found the leak? Sure. That's going to be kind of like the cheap, like, not a serious problem that you could definitely do here. Sorry, I got that pesky fly. I've got lights here for the live stream. There are lights all around. So I get lit up, and I got this one pesky fly that just keeps, I'll find him. I'll eventually get him. I'll have to pull a Mr. Miyagi on him and wax on, wax off. Anyway, if you have the leak there, okay, you definitely get it patched. Now, if you have the physical wherewithal, then you can get up on a ladder, kind of set up the patch time, and then rub the putty on there, and that's going to be okay. Again, be safe. You can always hire that out. Now, if there's patches all around, okay, that's usually when it's going to be time to pull the plug and just bite the bullet and get a new roof. Okay. When you look at new roofs, it's going to vary in price. Okay. It's going to vary in price on how much it's going to cost. I'm going to give you a general number. Okay. Don't hold me to this. Okay. I know several manufactured home roofing companies, buddies of mine own them. This is just a general number. Generally speaking, a single wide roof job is usually going to run you about $5,000 to $7,000. A double wide is going to be about 50% more. So $7,000 to $10,000 on roofs. Now they're expensive. That's why I said, they're going to be your most expensive repair. Those are going to be for brand new roofs that are called roof overs. It's the term. Okay. If you've ever lived in a single family home, or if you've seen people get new roofs in like a neighborhood or whatever, then you usually have like the guys and the gals pull up in the pickup trucks, and they're up there, and it's always like the hottest day of the summer that they're doing this, right? Like, God bless them. I don't know how they do it, but they're like yanking the shingles off, and they're like throwing them in the yard, and you're driving down the road and you see it. Maybe they tarp it up if it starts raining. That's not really how it goes in a manufactured home. It's called a roof over for a reason. They'll literally build a roof on top of the roof. So getting a new roof, if it's time, okay, the easy way to know if it's time is if you've tried to patch it and you've got several patches and there's several coffee stains on the ceiling. At that point in time, it really almost becomes like a safety deal, right? Because nobody wants to live in a house with like a leaky roof and moldy and like all that junk, right? So at some point in time, if you buy a used manufactured home, you're gonna have to bite the bullet and put a roof on. The pricing that I quoted you are going to be from reputable roofing companies. Okay, you can always get super cheap roofs put on, but I'm not trying to sound like Mr. Old School here, Mr. No Fun, but you kind of get what you pay for in life, I believe. And you definitely get what you pay for with roofs in the manufactured home world. Okay. I know people who do roof jobs on double wides for like $2,000. Okay. I know a guy who does it all the time around like Ellington, Parrish, Sarasota. He goes over to like down to Northport, and he and his buddies do the roof jobs because there's no warranty. It's super sketchy. Like, are they new? Yeah, they're new, but I don't know, man. It gets to be really rough work. So just to avoid that, make sure you get a reputable company from a licensed, bonded individual, whether you hire a contractor or a licensed handy person or a licensed roofer. That's your call. But make sure you get a warranty with it. I would hate for anybody in the mobile home dealer community to go with Joe Billy Sixpack to save a few $1,000s, and they put it on and there's no warranty. And the first time it rains, you got leaks, and you call them and they say, I don't know what to tell you. There's no warranty. Like, I'd really hate for anybody in our community to feel like they're being taken by some shyster out there. So mobile home roofs are expensive. They are. Like, I wish I could help you with that, but they're just expensive. Budget the best you can if you need a new roof. Save up your money as best as you can to then get a roof from a reputable company with a warranty on it. Okay, like, please. Do not go. I've seen dozens of people go the cheap route. It works for a little while, and then it goes to what, and a what. Okay, and then they don't have a warranty. It rains. Maybe there's a storm. and then all of a sudden they're back to square one. Okay. The other thing about roofs and roof maintenance is when you get the roof and you have a warranty on it, it's kind of like what we talked about last week on our live stream about the difference between cosmetic and structural upgrades. A new roof is definitely going to bring you money, okay, when you go and sell the house, if you have a warranty. If Joe Billy Sixpack does it and there's no warranty and you have no receipts and you've got, I think he was here in July, but it could have been September, don't expect to see a nickel for that. Like, really, do not expect to see a nickel, because there is not going to be any type of warranty, any type of paperwork. The new buyer, put yourself in the new buyer's shoes. He or she doesn't know if you're telling them a lie or, being straight with them or whatever. So just spend the extra money to get the good roof from a reputable company. Roof jobs are going to take about a half to maybe 3/4 of a day. Most clients that I've worked with who have gotten roofs, they go out to the store, maybe they run some errands, and, they go to lunch and, whatever, and they come back and the roof's on. So if you have a single wide, most roofing companies will have their crews do two single wides in a day. If it's a double wide, they usually do one double wide a day. So that should kind of give you an idea of like how much time it's gonna take them to do it, and how much of an inconvenience it's gonna be for you and your family when you have it done. Okay, so as a quick once over, when you're talking about roofs, it's always going to be by far the most expensive problem to a manufactured home if you have a bad roof, because it's going to lead to water intrusion. Water intrusion is going to lead to walls bubbling. You're going to have to get the walls torn out. It's going to lead to mold, which can obviously be a health problem. It can lead into wet floors, which your floors are going to get rotted out faster. It's going to bow the frames of your windows. So now all of a sudden, if you're in a cold climate and you want to heat up your house, you're going to spend more money on your heater because there's going to be gaps in the window. A bad roof is bad news. I know it sounds corny, but please realize that a bad roof is really going to be a big problem if you don't get it fixed. Easy ways to fix it: proper maintenance. Get the weight off. Okay, seal it. When you go inside the house, check for coffee stains. If it stinks, like gym socks, we got a problem. If it's dry as bone and it doesn't really smell much of anything, probably something to keep an eye on, but it's not the end of the world. Last thing is, this may sound silly, but to prevent further problems with your roof, okay? If your manufactured home that you live in, or a manufactured home that you're looking at purchasing, okay, if it does not have a carport on it, okay, you don't have a carport on your house, or the home you're looking at, doesn't have a carport, and you want to put a carport on it, okay, make sure you get the carport put on by somebody who's a trained professional, who's going to give you some type of a warranty. They have a license of some type, depending on where you are in the country. They're going to have different license requirements. I have seen probably 30 of these in my career where carports have gotten put on by that same guy, Joe Billy Sixpack, and they drill in and I'm not a roofer, so I'm sorry if we have roofers on the channel, that I'm sorry I'm not using the right words, but they'll drill in like the top of the carport into the roof, but they'll actually drill it in like to the part of the roof that actually causes a leak. Okay, I know probably 10 to 15 times in my career, you can see where the leaks are, because you can look up, usually like in the living room, if like in most manufactured homes, especially pre-owned ones, they have a side door that usually goes right into the carport. If you look up in the ceiling and there's a roof leak, you can literally just trace it with your eyes, and every about 6 inches, you'll see another coffee stain, another coffee stain, another coffee stain, another coffee stain. And then you'll go outside and you'll see that the carport looks relatively new compared to the house. How do you think all those leaks got there? It's because some guy went crazy with his carport and his nail gun or whatever he had, and he literally caused all those leaks in that roof because he bolted on the carport incorrectly onto the body of the house. Okay, so I'm not trying to be a fear monger here, but if you're looking at a home that does not have a carport, or if your home does not have a carport and you're thinking about putting a carport on, cool, awesome, go get them, you got it. However, make sure you hold that carport installer guy or gal to the same standards that you would if they were putting on a roof. Okay, because the last thing you want is to go and get a beautiful carport to protect your vehicle and like the snow, the rain, the sun, whatever you got going on in your hometown, only for it to rain or for it to snow, and then the snow melt, and all of a sudden you got a line of coffee stains. Okay, I would hate for anybody in the mobile home dealer community to have to suffer through that. So the roof is by far going to be your biggest pillar when it comes to your manufactured home. It's going to be by far your most expensive repair if you have to. You can have some very inexpensive maintenance to prevent those problems from happening or to elongate the life of your roof. But like anything in life, especially a machine or a device, it's going to have its lifespan. Okay, so generally speaking, put 30 years on your calendar when you are looking at the roof. Find out the age of the home. Okay, when you're looking at the home, ask the seller, have you ever had and the term that you want to use is, have you ever had a roof over? Okay. If they say new roof, that can mean a couple of different things, but a roof over. Okay. If they say yes, they've had a roof over, great. When was it done? Okay. Get a rough date, smile and say, great. Do you have a warranty on it? Because most roofing companies will offer what's called a one-time transferable warranty. Okay. So if I own the house, my name's Mark, I sell it to Susie. I sell the home to Susie. Susie can inherit the warranty. Okay. She'll just have to call up the company, say, this is the home I bought, give them the address, and they'll put the warranty in her name. If Susie sells it to Billy, okay, and it's a one-time transfer, Billy gets no warranty. Okay. But it did go to Susie because Mark bought the house. So it's called a one-time transferable warranty. Okay. So you want to make sure that if you're looking at a pre-owned home, find out the age of the home, find out the age of the roof. If they don't know, ask them if they've had a roof over. If they don't know, you can usually eyeball it, and this will be for another live stream. You can usually eyeball it to see if it's, the original or if it's well taken care of. The easy way to do is just to walk around the house and look for things growing in the gutters. That sounds silly, but if you got things growing in the gutters, it's probably an older roof. And then get any type of warranty information you can from that seller about the roof. When you go inside the home, look for the coffee stains, smell your finger, go down the road. And that, my friends, will give you an idea on roof maintenance, the cost, the expectation as far as how long it'll last, and what you can do to have it last as long as possible. So I hope that was helpful. Let me know in the chat if you learned something on that. Okay. I'm going to roll into a couple of questions here, and then we're going to jump into the community questions. If you haven't yet done so, guys, please give us a huge thumbs up. We'd really appreciate if everybody gave us a thumbs up, whether you're popping in for the whole stream or you're just hanging out for a few minutes, getting some information and going on to the next thing. I'm just happy you're here, and it means the world to me to have this many people checking us out. Our live stream continues to grow each and every week, and I'm very proud of that. Last week we had over 170 people on the live stream at one time, and it was a lot of fun jumping into the questions and creating a community, which is really what the mobile home dealer is trying to do here. So there are other YouTube channels that do similar things as we do. I think we do it a little bit differently. But the big thing is I want to create community with the mobile home dealer, so everybody can come here, we can chat, we can talk mobiles, we can learn new things, and I want to do the best job I can to answer your questions and do the best job in the entire industry with the education, because I think it's real easy just to show homes. It's a little bit different with what we're trying to do and to do the education. So we want to make sure that if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you're as educated as possible, and we are waving the flag. We're leading the way in the entire industry with education. Okay, that's our big thing here. Okay, so a couple of questions. Randy, Mr. Randy from Tennessee. Hey, Mark, thanks so much for what you're doing with live streams. I'm learning a ton. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate it. Could you talk a little bit about what you're seeing with lot rent increases going into 2026? I'm on a fixed income, like I think many of your viewers are, and I'm starting to get concerned about buying a home with lot rent. Thanks for all you do. You bet, Randy. Okay, so what we're going to talk about here is when we're talking about lot rent, okay, we discussed lot rent in detail in previous live streams, Randy, so I won't go into huge depth with that because it sounds like you've been on some streams. But I will talk about the lot rent. Okay, so lot rent what we see right now is we see the national average is about 5.1% annual increase on lot rent. Okay, so why is there a lot rent increase? That's the big question. Okay, well, I'm not trying to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm also trying to just be straight with you guys. Expect lot rent to increase every year. Okay, a lot of brokers, a lot of sales agents, unfortunately, some park managers, they'll not really tell you that, right? That's kind of like, oh, let's just kind of dance around the problem and not actually answer the issue. I'm not a fan of that. If you ever meet me in person, I'm very black and white. If I tell you I can do something, I'll tell you I can. If I can't do something, I'll look you in the eye and say, I'm sorry, I can't do that. And so my big thing is just being upfront with everybody with anything in life, but especially in the mobile home business. Lot rent is probably going to increase every year. It probably needs to increase every year. And the reason why is because it's not the park manager's fault. It's not the park owner's fault. It's not that goofy landscaper. It's nobody's fault. It's just the situation that we're in. And the reason why, Randy, is because let's just take a pool. Okay. Everybody likes to have a pool in a park. It's going to cost so much money to fix that pool, to clean the pool, to put the chemicals in the pool, to drain the pool, to recoat the pool, right? I mean, it's pool maintenance to insure the pool. Next year, it's probably going to cost more money to drain the pool, to maintain the pool, to put the chemicals in the pool. You get my idea. Everybody likes to have their lawn cut. Okay, it costs so much for the fuel and for the lawnmower and for the belts and the tires and the boots and the labor. That costs so much money, right? Next year, it's probably going to cost more. Okay, because the cost of tires, the cost of blue jeans, the cost of a slice of pizza, the cost of car tires goes up. Okay, now I'm not going to get into a huge conversation, Randy, about the debasement of money and how money is meant to be inflationary. I'm not going to jump into this huge economics deal, but the price of things goes up every year. Okay, when the lot rent is paid to the park, okay, the park is providing certain services for you, like they'll mow your grass, so the amenities of the pool, the dog park, maybe they pay for your water or your sewer, your trash. They're going to get charged more every year by their vendors. Okay, so unfortunately, in the mobile home park business, everybody passes on the buck. So the landscaper who buys their mowers from John Deere is going to charge the landscaper more money every year. Okay, so when he or she needs to buy a new mower, they have to pay more money. Okay, the gas station is going to cost more money. So when they go and they get a contract at like a manufactured home community, a mobile home park, then they have to charge the mobile home park more money because every year because they had to pay more money to John Deere. They had to pay more money to the Chevron station for the fuel. Okay, so then the mobile home park then has to pass on the money to their customer, if you will, which is going to be the resident in the park. Okay, that's why lot rent increases every year. Okay, and that's why there's a 5% kind of expected increase. Now, a lot of people get flustered about that, but that's the game that we're playing. Okay, those are the rules of the game. A lot of people don't want to talk about that, but that's the God's honest truth. That's why a lot of times lot rent will go up. Okay, Randy, if you owned a single family home, okay, then you have what's called property taxes. Okay, you pay property taxes every year on the assessed value of the house. So if you bought your single family home for $100,000 and then 10 years later it's worth $200,000, congratulations, you're killing it. However, your property taxes are then going to be assessed based on what it's worth, not what you paid. So your property taxes are going to go up every year. Your property taxes are also going to have things in there, Randy, that you may or may not even be using. For instance, property taxes usually include a percentage of the property taxes, usually go to include to pay for like first responders, the brave men and women who fight fires, who are the police officers, the paramedics. It's also going to go to like the public school system. Okay, so for the kiddos to get a better education. Now, mobile home park owners get frustrated because they're like, well, I don't understand why lot rent's going up. Well, hopefully that answers your question, Randy, about why it goes up. And then people will say, well, you need to own the land, because if you own the land, then yes, won't have to deal with lot rent. You're right, but then you have to deal with property taxes going up every year, right? So if people say, well, no, I don't want to live in a park with a pool and a dog park and a security guy and all this other kind of stuff because I'm not going to use the amenities, that's cool. That's totally cool, because there's a lot of parks. There's a lot of beautiful parks that are like plain Jane, right? They're bare bones. They got gravel driveways and you park in the front yard because there's no carports. And they're pretty parks, but they're also resort style parks. but with, golf courses and restaurants and stuff like that. So always budget for about a 5% increase. Okay, Randy. Generally speaking, the more amenities you have in a park, the more it's going to go up. Okay, so if you have an 18-hole golf course and a restaurant and soft serve ice cream and an Elvis impersonator on Tuesdays at 3, and that happens, and an awesome pool and all this other kind of stuff. Well, all those services have to be paid for. So expect that your lot rent's going to go up a little bit more every year than the bare bones park with the cow pasture, because there's less stuff to maintain with the bare bones park and the cow pasture. And there's a lot more stuff to maintain. Again, going back to the landscaper idea, there's a lot more increases in cost of doing business every year. So the more amenities you have, the more it's going to go up. As far as being concerned on a fixed income, Randy, I hear you. I hear you, brother. Do the best you can. I always suggest expect a 5% annual increase. Then that's a general number. I get it. I'm going to get blown up in the comments. People are going to say it's more, it's less. I get it. But generally speaking, that's actually the national average. It's 5.01%. for 49 states, because there's no mobile homes in Hawaii. Fun fact. So if you're on a fixed income, the easiest way to do this is to expect 5% increase. Take the amount of money that you can afford for your housing today, Randy, and then project how long you're going to live in that park. If you're going to live in that park for 2 years, expect to pay about 10% more, right? 5% and 5%. If you're going to live there forever, 10, 20, 30 years, budget that accordingly. Please, 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 Randy or anybody else in the community, please do not put yourself in a super stressful situation with lot rent and buy in the most expensive park that you can afford today, knowing now that you know that it's going to go up 5% next year and knowing that you can't afford it. Okay, please don't be like some folks. God bless them. They buy the most park lot rent, if you will, they can based on today's money. And then if it goes up 5%, or God forbid it goes up 6%, they're forced to sell and they're forced to dump their house for super, super cheap because they can't afford the increase. So just expect that and then budget accordingly. Hope that helps, Randy. Maria from San Diego, California. Hey, Mark, I really appreciate your live streams and all you're doing for the community. It's helping me out a ton. My husband and I are looking at purchasing our first manufactured home in San Diego. Congratulations. Housing out here is, quote, stupid expensive. I can only imagine. My husband is a painter. I am a housekeeper, and we have a young son who's going to be driving soon. How many cars can fit at a mobile home within a mobile home park per house? Excuse me. Maria, thanks so much for checking us out. If you're on the stream now, this one goes out to you. It's your shout out for your question. So the easy answer to that is going to be ask the park manager. Okay. That's the easy answer. Looks like you have a young son here in your note. So you're going to be looking at a family park. Most family parks are going to be a little bit more lenient as far as how many cars and how many vehicles can be at a home than, say, an age qualified park like 55 and older. Generally speaking, Maria, if it's at a 55 and older park, they're going to allow 2 vehicles per house. Okay, because 2 people can usually be on a land lease. Husband, wife, brother, sister, 2 brothers, 2 guys, 2 girls, whatever it is. Okay. They can usually allow 1 vehicle per person. So in that situation, you'd have 2 cars. And then a lot of parks will then allow you to have your golf cart. For some reason in Florida, they call it what is it? Not a golf cart, a club car. They call it a club car in Florida. Us hillbillies in Indiana, we just call it a golf cart. So I guess that would be 2 plus the golf cart. Now, in most family parks, as I mentioned, Maria, then it's going to be a little bit more lenient on that. Always consult with the park manager. They are the boss of the park, and they run the show. And they will be able to tell you in the do's and don'ts, which is also known as the park prospectus, how many cars, okay? Always go to the park manager for the park, okay? Don't listen to some random guy on YouTube in a black shirt who's swatting some fly, okay? I'm being goofy, but I hope I'm being helpful too. So thanks so much, Maria, for the support. We're happy you're a part of the community. Last question, and then I'll jump into the ones in the chat here. This is from Crazy J with a K. Crazy J. So Crazy J from where is he from? Crazy J from Lincoln, Nebraska. Okay. Go Cornhuskers. So Crazy Jay is asking about, hey, Mark, thanks so much for what you're doing with the live streams. Really appreciate how much you're helping out. Have you ever worked with seller financing on a mobile home purchase? I'm looking at buying a home and then moving it to my private land. I've got some cash, but I don't have enough to buy. And I want to see if you've ever had experience with seller financing, because I want to buy this house and move it to my dad's farm. Thanks so much. Crazy Jay with a K. Appreciate you checking us out and giving us the support. We really appreciate it. Seller financing. Yes, I have quite a bit of experience in seller financing. Lot of experience. Here's the big thing with it, Crazy Jay. You want to make sure that if you're going to go with seller financing, you have a written contract. You want to make sure you have a written agreement. Okay. And you can find a written agreement. You can get it from an attorney. You can get it from like online. Probably get it from ChatGPT if you wanted to too. But you want to make sure that you have something in there that states basic items of the seller finance. Number one, the address of the home. This sounds like you're buying a home and you're moving it. Okay. Obviously, that's what it says. So in that situation, you want to get the VIN number, get something that identifies the actual property, Crazy Jay. Okay. The VIN number can be found on the title. It can be found on the ID plate, which is stamped physically into the frame of the home. Or it can also be found in what's called the data plate, which is going to be somewhere in the house. It's usually in the primary bedroom closet or by the electrical panel. Get something that identifies the house. Number one. Number two, get your name and whoever the seller's name is. Okay. Number three, get the money on paper. Okay. What do I mean by that? If you're doing seller financing, let's say I'm just making this up, Crazy Jay. Let's say you're buying a house for $20,000. Okay. And let's say you're going to do 10 grand down and 10 grand on payments. Okay. Have that illustrated in the written agreement. Okay. You are the buyer. Okay. You're going to buy the house for, in this example, 20 grand. You are going to put $10,000 down. And then these are the terms for the rest of the 10,000. Now, Crazy Jay, you can pay them every month. You can pay them every 2 weeks, whenever. Okay. I'm not an attorney. I'm not posing to be that, but you get the idea. You can figure out how you want to do it. Here's the big thing, Crazy Jay. You want to make sure that you have that all written down. It doesn't have to be like this huge 27-page contract. You can put it in one page. But you want to have something that identifies the home, you as the buyer, the seller, all the money stuff laid out there. So there's no funny business. Okay. Nobody plays funny business with money. Okay. And you want to make sure it's all laid out. You're paying this amount of money. This is the payoff. If he or she is going to charge you interest, negotiate that, but have that written out and have your exact payment and your payoff date in there. Okay. Have them, you sign it, they sign it. And Crazy Jay, please, please, please do this. Take the contract, take the buyer, you're the buyer, take the seller and go to like the UPS store, go to like the post office. Okay. Heck, even some libraries have this, and get it notarized. Please get it notarized. Okay. That is going to be a notary and they're going to sign off on who is who, and they're a registered notary. Okay. Then they're going to record that. So you have paperwork. Okay. Crazy Jay, if you follow that, you're going to be good to go on a seller finance setup. Okay. But I see seller finances blow up and everybody gets really upset with the other person if they don't have all the money laid out in writing. So Crazy Jay, for everybody's sake, and so you don't get any crazier, make sure you have it in writing. Okay, guys. So that wraps up the group or the conversations, the questions that got emailed to me this week. I'm gonna take a sip of water and then we'll start jumping through the comments. Okay, let's jump through it. As I roll up to the top, if you haven't yet done so, please give us a huge thumbs up. The more thumbs up, the better. I always talk about thumbs up because the more thumbs up we get, the more of our community members will be notified that we're doing this, and we'll be rocking and rolling. Okay, let's jump on through. All right, D Sparks. Hey, Mark. Hey, D Sparks. How are you? Chris, I'm doing well. Thanks so much for hopping in here. Sheila, Marie, man, great to see you. Appreciate the positivity in the comments. Happy you like the shorts. We actually are hiring somebody right now, which is exciting. We're hiring a YouTube editor. So we're going to have a bunch of different shorts, a lot more content coming out Our long form videos are going to start looking a little bit different after the first of the year, but our first project is working on the shorts. So probably around the first of the year, our shorts are actually going to be a lot more shorts, and they're going to look a little bit different. So I hope you like them. Will, what's up, buddy? Good to see you in here. Hey, no problem, Craig. You show up anytime, buddy. You're always welcome. Thanks, Brian. Yeah, appreciate the comment about the roof paint. Thank you. Genuine Joy. What type of roof? It depends. Kind of your. I don't even know if this makes any sense anymore. Like when I was a kid growing up, they'd be like, "Oh, the Cadillac," which was like the nice thing, depending on if you like GM cars or not. Some people don't, some people do. So I don't even know if people say Cadillac, but I'll just say like the top end one, or if you're a drinker, we'll call it the top shelf. Would be like your TPO roof. Okay, that's going to be like your kind of more expensive one. You can do metal roofs. You can do the asphalt shingle roof. I'm not a roofer, but those are usually your three big ones. And when you're talking about new roofs, you want to make sure before you get a new roof, make sure you talk to the park manager. And you can probably look around at your neighbors. If you live in a community that are all shingle roofs, don't be the guy or the gal who gets a metal roof, and vice versa. That's going to cause you problems. I got a frog in my throat. I'm sorry. Because if you get the wrong roof, which I've seen this happen a lot of times, then that can cause a huge problem for everybody. The big thing is if you're living in a park, okay, after selling almost 600 homes at this point with our team, the biggest problem that you're ever going to run into in a park is surprising the park manager, okay? Never do something to surprise the park manager unless it's like their birthday or something, okay? If anything is being done to the structural components of the house on the outside, the roof, the carport, the driveway, if you're putting in landscaping, anything that is seen by everybody in the park, please, please, please make everybody's life easier and just let the park manager know before you do that, roofs included. Because if the roof gets put on a Saturday, park manager shows up on Monday, you got a shingle roof and everybody else has metal roofs, it's going to surprise them and it's not going to be a good start for anybody. Hey, Julie, I do too. I was just on a mission trip in Costa Rica not too long ago, and that was awesome. I love going to other countries. I love getting out and seeing things. Yeah, Craig, they do metal. They do metal roofs all the time. They absolutely do those. Again, it depends on what part of the country you're in, but a lot of homes from factories. Can I get some of your less expensive homes, Craig, from factories, brand new ones? They're metal, usually are newer, like higher dollar ones are going to be shingle. And then most roofing companies will offer either or metal or shingle. I'll tell you what, I did not wear my contacts today, and I am feeling it. So I'm sorry if I'm blowing you up while I'm leaning in to read these comments. Fox Trader, how do property taxes work with mobile homes? It depends. It depends. I'll give you a quick answer on that. It depends where the home's located at, Fox Trader. If it's in a park and you're leasing the land, then that's going to be viewed as and taxed as a personal property transaction and not a real property transaction. Okay, that's a fancy way for saying you're going to be paying sales tax at the time of purchase. You're not going to be paying annual property tax unless the park puts it on you. Okay. If you're buying, which then it's going to be included in the lot rent, okay, which is a whole nother conversation. If you're buying a house, a manufactured home with land in most states, again, check with your local state, okay? Don't take my word for it. Check with your local state. If it's including with the land, so you're buying like out in the country or something, the house and the land, then that's going to be viewed, generally speaking, that's going to be viewed and taxed as a real estate transaction. So you're going to have regular property taxes, just like if you had a condominium, a townhome, or a single family home. Hey, Amanda, great to have you in there. Always good to see you. Sheila, man, thanks so much for highlighting the with the emojis. That helps me out quite a bit, especially when you forget to wear your contacts. Question, Mark, can you talk about windows? Sure. What do I look for? Okay, Sheila. So I wish I should do these lives like in a house. That's what I should start doing, because then I can actually walk around with a webcam and show you this. So if you like the old homes, Sheila, a lot of those are super cool. I hear you on that. The easy way to tell, okay, look at the homes and see if they have vertical windows. Okay, vertical windows with manual cranks. Okay, if they have vertical, excuse me, what did I say vertical? Apparently I can't decide the difference. Horizontal windows with cranks. Okay, you'll see it on our channel. The older homes, like your 60s, 70s, that still have the original windows, that they have like for a regular window, they have 3 separate window panes. Okay, and they're all horizontal, and they all are going to have their individual cranks to them. They're all going to have their individual like metal arms that pull the window out, pull it in. Okay, pull it out, pull it in. If you see those, generally speaking, those are going to be the old windows, usually the original windows. Okay. Now I understand it's got some charm to it, all that kind of stuff. Just know that those are going to be single pane windows, and those are, at this age right now, they're going to be notorious for leaking. Okay. So unless they're in like the Florida room, or it's like a screen-in porch and you don't really care, maybe you've got like some like really durable indoor outdoor carpet on the floor, maybe you got like some older furniture, like nice stuff, but like not really like outdoor furniture, like it'll get sun, it'll get wet, like you care but you don't, type of thing. Then I wouldn't really worry about replacing those windows if you like the look. But if you have those types of manual windows with the horizontal window panes in like major areas of your home, your bedroom, living room, that kind of thing, then you really want to consider getting those fit. Especially you mentioned being in Florida, you really want to get those replaced, or at least start considering getting them replaced, or budget for that expense. As you go, maybe you don't have the money, or you don't want to spend all the money to replace all the windows in the house at once. That's fine. I would probably go and try to get like your bedroom done, maybe like your living room done, and then kind of like spread the cost out that way. I have seen, oh gosh, hundreds of homes, and I'm being generous when I say hundreds. It's probably more than that. Homes in my career all throughout the Southeast region of the United States, and they have those original windows, and they look so cool. And you get like a little bit closer to them, and you like kind of, you're not rough with it, but you kind of like, you kind of lean a little bit on the window, or you kind of like, see that it's bubbling. Okay. It's just got water behind it because the windows can't handle it anymore. Those are the main things with windows. You really want to be careful. If you like the retro look, I would keep the retro look like out into the screened-in porch area. Or like, we have a home that's coming up on the channel. I think it's going to come up on the channel like Monday, and they have a Florida room, and it's got those windows that you like, but the rest of the house, all the windows have been redone. That's a smart structural upgrade. So just be careful of that. Windows can be expensive, but if you have windows and they're good windows, you can definitely get your money back when you sell the home. So I hope that helps. Uh, 8741, any restrictions for motorcycles in parks? Yeah, there can be. Always go and check with the park manager. Some parks will say no problem. Some parks will say no way, Jose. So always check with the park. I would say more than not, they're going to be fine, but always check with the park. You bet, Brian. I appreciate you being in here. Thank you. Yeah, where is that Uncle Harry? Mike, have you found him? I keep looking for him. Is that getting old? Is the Uncle Harry bit getting old? Do I need to change that? Let me know. Let me know if I need to change that up. Any homes available in Vero Beach? Yes, Philip. We have a new team member who's just starting. Stay tuned. We'll have a bunch of listings come on there. I hear you, Sheila. If you don't use the amenities, I hear you. RC Lady, no problem. You're always on time. We're here to help anytime people show up. Pop in, hang out for a little bit, or pop out. Whatever we would do, we're just happy people are here. Brian Tucker, TPO roofs are sweet. Yeah, I hear you. Well, can you do your own repairs, manufactured homes, or do you need to pull permits? Well, I'll answer that 2 ways. I'll answer that the legal way, and I'll answer it the mobile home way. So take this however you want. Number one, always, before I answer it that way, always check with the park manager. You're always going to hear me say that. Always check with the park manager. Number two, I don't know of a lot of people who get permits for inside work. Number 3, if you're doing a roof or if you're doing a carport, I know a lot of people who get licensed people to get that work done. Hope that helps answer your question. Brian, your buddy's got a tiki attached to the mobile home. Oh, sweet. That'd be cool. I'd like to see a picture of that. I hear you. Yeah, real nice curtains do help out quite a bit. You're right. Maureen, that's my sister's name. Wow, there you go. Maureen Cooper. Hi, Mark. Was just wondering if there is a program that helps seniors fix up their mobile homes. Now, by program, do you mean like a government subsidy or something like that? If so, I'm not sure. I don't know that answer. If you're talking about just somebody helping, like lending a helping hand, then yeah. I mean, one of the great things about mobile home parks and mobile manufactured home communities is the last word, community. Okay. The more I get into this business, the more I love this business, because the amount of community that you see in parks is phenomenal. Like, there's no shortage of people who will help you. Okay. You may have to ask, you may have to, and I don't know you, Maureen, but if you're not real social, you may have to ask, you may have to talk to the park manager. You might have to meet some people, but there are so many just like salt of the earth people. And I've worked in several hundred parks. I've been to several thousand throughout probably 30 states of the country. And every single time I'm walked away with not every time, but every time, but a lot of times I'm walked away with like a wow. Like, they really understand what the word community is. Like, just like legitimate salt of the earth people who will help. So if you need somebody to help swing a hammer, somebody to, take off the debris off the roof, like I mentioned earlier, ask around. I guarantee you, in darn near every park, there are so many just awesome, awesome people. They'd be able to help you. I'm sure. Now, as far as government subsidies, that I do not know. But you can always just ask around. There's a lot of people there. Hope that helps. Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So the Uncle Harry thing is not getting old. Okay, I'm a little curious by the people in the comments. Some people, say, get a new bit. Some people say it's hilarious. I had one lady ask me when an Uncle Harry T-shirt was coming out. So I get mixed reviews. I'm just like to have a lot of fun with it, and I really hope that you guys get entertainment from what we do here, and you learn as well. It gets kind of old and boring just to continue to show bathrooms and kitchens. I like to have a lot of fun and educate people as I go. And if we can all learn and get some laughs, then hey, then that beats being serious all the time. We love Uncle Harry. Awesome. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate you, buddy. You bet, Maureen. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, buddy. My buyer's financing was declined. I'm back to waiting to sell. 2 places highlighted from your channel. Yeah, if we can ever help, well, just let us know. I was going to start talking about financing in some of the next live streams, kind of your biggest problems, not but financiers' biggest problems with getting financing on a home. There's a lot of misinformation and a whole lot of bad information in this business about financing. And I'd be more than happy to talk about that on a future live stream. But hopefully somebody comes forward with you and hooks you up on a deal there. Guys, if you haven't done so, please give us a huge smash of the thumbs up. If you're new to the world of live streams, that helps us out quite a bit with the algorithm there in the world of YouTube land. And what we have coming up here as we wrap up here today, got a couple of fun things coming up. We got a absolute killer video coming out on the channel. Make sure you take a look at it. It's a Saturday at 4 p.m. It's a huge price decrease on a nice double wide. Like I think it's an early 90s double wide. It's chef's kiss on that one. We got a real good price decrease on that. I was with Daniel. If you're veterans of the channel, Daniel's back on the scene, and I was with Daniel today. We were in a town called Northport, Florida, working together. So we got Dan coming back on the channel here. He'll be out early next week. A real nice 1994 double wide. Real nice, beautiful park, gated community. It's awesome. So we got that coming up. Let's see what else we got going on. We have a really nice low cost home. I think it's at $19,000. It's a 1-bed, 1-bath. That's coming out next week as well. That one's going to sell fast. That's in a town called Bradenton, Florida. And then we got some other homes coming up on the channel in the next week or two. I'm looking at our schedule. We got some land home package deals coming up. I know a lot of people in the community want to know more about buying a house. It says buying a house with the land. So we got about 3 or 4 of those coming up here pretty soon. I'm not going to put them up like one after another. I'm going to kind of spread them out a little bit. But we got 4 or 5 of those with iHome, landhomepackage.com, I guess is the name of the company. They invited me out. I'm going to go film those. It looks like Monday. So we're going to have some awesome land home packages come up. And I'm continuing to work behind the scenes on our big project. I hope to have that launched here towards the first of the year. I'm really excited about it. You guys in the live stream community are going to be the first ones who are going to have access to it. It's going to be a massive play in the entire manufactured home industry. I'm going to be out in Louisville, Kentucky in January at the Big Home Show. So I'll be filming a bunch of homes there and giving talks on our new project that we're very excited to kick off there in January as well. So a lot of fun things coming up here with the mobile home dealer. I think we're going to call it at this point. So again, if you're new to live stream, thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. We invite everybody to come here. It's free. We come out, we talk, we chat mobiles, and we have a good time. And I'm doing the best I can on my end with the mobile home dealer to create a community and not just another generic YouTube channel, showing off homes. I think having a community and having everybody hang out and getting to know people in here, then I think people will enjoy the community and the videos that much more. So thanks so much for giving your questions, giving your time, and sharing your Thursday afternoon. I truly feel blessed and so very thankful. Every Thursday, I look forward to it. It's like my favorite thing to do right now on the channel is sharing this education, and I hope you feel that from me, because I really enjoy helping. I have a teacher's heart. I like to joke around a lot, but I have a teacher's heart, and I really want to make sure that people who are buying or selling manufactured homes are as educated as they possibly can be. They don't get scammed. They get a good home for them and their family at a fair price that they can enjoy, because I believe everybody should have their own castle, and that castle may look different for other people, but everybody should have that feeling and that sense of community and home life. So that's a big passion for me, and I appreciate everybody coming on here tonight, hearing me answer questions and share my passion with you guys. So thanks so much for coming and hanging out with us. It's at an hour. That's my bedtime. I don't want to keep you too long. I'm sure you have other fun things to do than to listen to some random guy about mobile homes on a Thursday night. As always, my name is Mark Kaiser. You've been with the Mobile Home Dealer. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. And as always, we'll see you all on the next one.